Hiya, and welcome back to Rain Check, the game that teaches us that... Everything will always work out in Theo's favor, because he is hot and cute, mostly cute. Anyways, let's just hop right in. Follow me. We step briefly into the hallway before Helix guides me into another room. What do I... Shut it! I grimace as he tightens his grip around my arm. There's a bunch of devices and instruments hung up across the walls with a large table in the center of the room. Is this some kind of interrogation room? Or worse? Sit. He points to a flimsy steel chair beside the table, the only one in the room. You mean? Yes! Fearing the consequences of disobedience, I quickly sit and glance back nervously. Take off your shirt. What? I won't repeat myself. Do it or I'll tear it off you. Okay. I quickly obey, stripping off my top layers until my fur is exposed to the cold, stale air. He moves behind me and binds my arms to the chair, only then do I notice it's bolted to the floor. Word, the snow leopard walks to a metal cabinet, pulling out several colorful wires and tossing them onto the table before glaring at me. Let's see how you do this. Helix rummages through some boxes, pulls out a large rectangular machine and swiftly hooks up the wires. Is this some kind of polygraph? I don't think I've seen anything like this before. Don't move! I mean it. Helix grabs the end of the wires and connects them to a large transparent mesh fabric with small white nodes held in his other paw. Finally, he walks over and drapes the mesh over my head, covering most of my upper torso. Alright. All you need to do is answer my questions. And don't try anything funny unless you want to be skinned alive. I swallow hard and nod slowly, trying to stay calm. There's a dull hum as the machine is flicked on and a small tingle radiates throughout my fur. You can do this. First question. What is your name? Theodore. And what's the name of the fox that was with you? Javier. He adjusts the dials on the machine before turning his attention back to me. Now tell me, why are you here? You were trying to find Christopher in order to look for you. Javier was trying to see where Christopher went when we were caught outside of the building. Helix pauses, furrowing his brow. Why were you looking for me? We just wanted to know who was responsible for the shooting that night. And? I give the snow leopard a confused look, hesitating to respond. And what? Sorry. Look, kid, do you think I'm stupid? No, I don't. Do I have to spell it out for you? You were clearly following me that night with that fucking wolf, weren't you? Way before the shooting occurred. There's no fucking way you didn't plan to take me out that night. But we didn't! He suddenly lashes out a paw, gripping my throat tightly before almost immediately letting go and calming down. Fine. Why don't you explain to me the events that unfolded that night? We got there to investigate Blackout. We thought we might learn more about it by going to the library. Why? I don't know. We were told to go there by Lawrence. He said that there's potential evidence that'll connect with the current case they were investigating. He signals me to keep talking with how sharp his glare is focused on me. When we got there, we split up, and that's when Magnus approached Javier. Magnus? What the hell is he doing talking with people like you? We don't know either, but he said he was waiting for someone that never arrived. Never arrived? We showed up on time. But that's not what he said. So I guess he got impatient and asked Javier for help instead. We arranged to meet up at 9. How is that possible? Something tells me that Magnus is more closely connected to Blackout than I thought. Well, I don't know, but shortly after Magnus and Javier left through the back, we saw you walk in with Christopher. That's right. Explain how you know Christopher. He was at the casino. I was staying at the Grand Marine, and he was there when I attacked. So it was you then? Nothing. Continue with what happened that night. Well, we saw you two come in. We were curious to know why you guys were there. That's why we did what we did and followed you. His attention stays on the machine as it blinks and hums. These people you were with. Are you referring to ARC? Yes! I'm not an investigator. I was just caught up in all this. You think I'd believe that? Why would someone like you be partnered up with people like them? But it's true! There were these creepy texts and threats I got telling me to go to the power plant after I was attacked by some drugged up cat at the casino. Right. His eyes fixate on the machine, trying to make sense of whatever readings it's outputting. Each second drags by, more excruciatingly nerve-wracking than the last, as I wait for Helix's conclusion. I see. Walks over to the cabinet and pulls out another chair from behind and unfolds it across the table from me. Lawrence. Where is he now? I don't know, but if anyone knows where he is, it's probably Javier. Helix stares at the machine until various lights flicker, definitely lost in thought with how focused he is. Last question. Have you been lying to me at any point? No, I haven't. Both stare at the machine as its slow rumbling fades out. He lets out a confused sigh as he disconnects the machine before approaching me. I flinch, expecting him to hit me. Please, don't hurt me! There's a short, canned chuckle, and then cold breeze as I feel the mesh being slowly lifted from my body. He wasn't going to hit me? Stop moving. Are we done? Is that it? I'm too scared to ask. The snow leopard spends a few more moments coiling up the wires and setting the machine aside, leaving me waiting in terror. So you're telling the truth. I've never seen someone score a -5 before. I guess that means your little friend was also being truthful. Does that mean I'm free to go? We can discuss this once we have Magnus. For now, you can sit tight until the fox comes back. He walks over to the door, but I yell out for him before he leaves. Wait! I didn't know what those texts were. I just need to... Quiet, do I need to gag you too? I just have a question. Please, I need to know. The text that you received. An awkward silence settles, and from the corner of my eye, I catch Helix just standing there. Did he just laugh? Try to get a better view, but he's just out of view at the door. Don't worry about that. What's with the sudden change in his tone? Is he embarrassed? What does that mean? Please, I just want to know why I need to go to the power plant. Were you guys responsible for sending that to me? Was a reward mentioned in the text? It was a mistake. His voice is barely audible, but I catch it somehow. A mistake? Your phone intercepted the message instead of that cat. That message was never intended for you. Huh? You mean the cat that tried to kill me? His embarrassment quickly switches over to an enraged look as he storms over to me. Suddenly he grips my neck tightly, glaring at me with eyes full of rage. I've answered your question. Now shut the fuck up or I'll snap your neck off. Son, didn't the boss say to treat him well? A sudden loud and deep voice rings out in the room, causing the snow leopard to retract his paw on me. Slate, it's not what it looks like. Helix steps back, revealing a large, muscular gator standing in the doorway, clearly unimpressed. Shut the fuck up or I'll snap your neck off. Is that really any way to treat our guests? But I heard it all from down the hall. I don't want to hear any bullshit from you. Helix shakes his head as he retreats into a corner, defeated, his tail between his legs. Plus, I saw the whole thing from the surveillance room. I have to say, rare to see someone score 0, let alone a negative on a hypermetric polygraph. Don't tell me you came here just to embarrass me, Slate. Whoa, who is this guy? He has such a different aura than Helix. Embarrass you? You do this to yourself, son. I told you to send the transmission yourself, but did you listen? No. You had to get one of these inexperienced grunts to do it for you because you were too busy getting your... Enough! Like you have any right to speak. Slate was talking about Helix's penis. Are they both on the same side? I'm having trouble believing what's going on. Theodore. I stare at the gator, not sure of what to say. Yes! He steps fully into the room, stopping right in front of me, the ground giving a slight tremor with each step. He's huge! Even his muscles have muscles! You okay? Hope that ash-covered cat hasn't caused you too many problems. He gives me a big smile, causing me to fluster. Relax, I ain't gonna hurt you, son. In fact, all I want to do is ask you some questions. Okay. The snow leopard stands in the corner, avoiding eye contact as he recovers from the earlier exchange. Do you know what blackout is? Who we really are? Well, no, not really. Of course you wouldn't. That's why you and your team were following Helix. Let me tell you what we're not, and that's outlaws doing whatever they think they can get away with. He turns around and stares at Helix with a bone-piercing glare. Blackout is a research company, plain and simple. We find and treat people suffering from addiction and treat them. Wouldn't you say that's a very noble thing to do in today's society when drug abuse is at its all-time highest? I catch Helix sneering and shaking his head just out of Slate's view, as the gator waits for my response. Yeah, it does, but... So then you'd understand why we need Magnus. He's one of our biggest potential investors. And we thought you and your group were trying to sabotage us, isn't that funny? You can see where the confusion would happen. Yeah. So once we get Magnus, we can continue on with our research, and you can be on your way. Slate turns to Helix haughtily before grinning back at me. See, son, this is how you should be, if the boss tells you to be gentle. The large gator steps behind me, and after a moment, I feel a pressure on my paws and hear the sound of the binds hitting the ground. My clothes suddenly appear, held up by the gator, who earnestly hands them to me. Put this back on, I can't have you catching a cold. His voice is quiet but demanding. I quickly throw on my clothes, my mind still processing the confusion around me. Helix, the order's here. We're picking it up now. Was that why you barged in? You just messaged me. And you mistreat the son when boss specifically mentioned to be gentle. You're out of your goddamn mind. How long do we have? About an hour, so get ready. The gator gestures to me. We'll need to bring him along. My eyes widen in fear. What? You can't bring him. He'll fuck things up. I just know it. Well, you have to keep an eye on him, and if something happens to him, it's on your head, remember? Because it'd be funny if the boss knew. Fuck you. Good. Now I'll be back shortly. Gonna grab some stuff, then we can get going. Slate disappears through the door, then pops his head back in. And be nice to the kid. The son's been telling the truth. You did score a -5. Okay, now piss off. The loud thuds of the gator slowly disappear, until the only sounds that echo the room are Helix's light taps on the wall in the corner. I instinctively look down, avoiding Helix's sharp gaze, nervously rubbing my wrists where the binds had been. Seconds stretch into minutes as we wait in silence for Slate to return. It's been a bit since I had any food. Face immediately flushes red and my ears flatten as I can hear Helix chuckling at me from the other side of the room. Hungry? Yeah. The feline rolls his eyes before tossing a small energy bar from his pocket on the table next to me. Take it. Are you sure? No, so hurry and fucking eat it before I change my mind. I'm not sure. God fucking hell, forget it. There's a bar onto the ground, stomping on it repeatedly. Okay, damn. Damn! Damn. Yeah, that's... Wow. Take his ass to anger management. Seriously. Stop wasting my time. You'd be dead right now if it wasn't for the boss. I freeze up, trying to stay as calm as possible. Helix approaches slowly, his brows furrowed as he appears lost in thought. You're lucky. Helix, bring the tiger with you to the back. We're leaving now. Slate's sudden voice echoes from the hallway, making Helix jump and clench his paws in irritation. Fucking hell. Good God, bitch. Helix better take our ass to McDonald's. Or some shit. He better take our ass to McDonald's. You know what? I'm gonna put it on here. For Carl's Jr. I have never, ever been to a Carl's Jr. And you know what? Just to be nice, down to 10 additional eggs per vote. And I am actually putting you know what? I should probably do it like this. An unhappy meal, burger, chicken nuggets, an unhappy meal. Nah, I'm actually gonna fix that. A happy meal, burger, chicken nuggets, a McFlurry. What other item is going to be on the poll? Because there's only 5 options. Cola? That is included with everything. Cola is included with everything. So, we can get a cola. More cola? No, because then we'll have to pee. We'll do the fish sandwich. Cola comes with everything! Cola comes with everything! Happy and how are you with your unhappy meal? I'm not sure how much time has passed, but it's definitely been a while. Does it come with 2 colas? You can get 2 colas! I can't see anything being in the storage at the back of the truck with nothing inside but me. I curl up, tucking my knees against my chest and trying to stabilize myself in the corner as the truck's erratic motion makes it impossible to do much else. Eventually, the engine noise fades and the truck comes to a stop. I sit up, trying to position myself better in case it starts moving again. Hello? There's no response but the violent echo of my voice bouncing around the metal walls. I call out one last time, but the results are the same. I slump back in the corner, nervously waiting for something to happen. After what feels like forever, there's a sharp bang from the back of the truck. Hello? I shield my eyes from the sudden light and voice standing at the opening. Get out, we're done. I do my best to keep my balance as I step out, but I stumble and the snow leopard catches me before I fall. Fucking! Sorry! Thanks! God damn it, watch it! Wait a second, isn't this the convention center? Is this some kind of loading area? And what's this large metal container doing next to us? This can't be the thing they're picking up, is it? If it isn't Theodore. I turning around to see Slate leaving the convention center, balancing several boxes in one arm and waving to me with the other. Hope the ride wasn't too hard on you at the back. Hey, it was okay. Try to lift a paw and wave back, but Helix intercepts it and pushes it down. Ugh, don't bother. So, did you finish signing off the transaction? Yes, the parts are here, and you can finally get started with the assembly as soon as we get back. Great, I'll be able to test out the test plans I made. Try to get a good look at the boxes, but they're all labeled and masked with layers of tape. One by one, the gator effortlessly carries the boxes into the truck, including the large metal container that looks like it'd need a forklift to handle. That's the last one. Theodore, why don't you sit in the front with Helix? I'll be in the back making sure these don't topple over. Helix whips his head toward the alligator, then at me. Fine. But if you do anything funny, I'll gut you like a fish. What happened to being gentle? Shut it. As Slate heads to the back of the truck, I feel a sudden coldness around my wrists. Then I realize I'm bound again with handcuffs. Go. Get in the front. Okay, bitch! Can we punch him? Can we please punch Helix? Can we punch him? I am very much against meow meow violence, but he needs to get his ass handed to him. I hop in and do my best to maneuver in the seat, struggling with the handcuffs binding my paws in the front. Helix slides into the driver's seat and we start moving immediately. We exit the lot and merge onto the main road, quickly getting on the freeway. My eyes wander over the truck's dashboard, landing on a small reflector where I notice Helix constantly checking the side mirrors. He turns to check the other mirror, but our gazes meet unexpectedly. My face heats up and I turn to look out the window. What the hell has been going on these past few hours? First we were tracking down Blackout, and now apparently Blackout's just a research company? But if that's true, why would they establish themselves as a gang? Unless I'm missing something. I could ask Helix since he's right here, but I'm not sure if I should just remain silent and behave. Ugh, this is going to bother me. Go back and forth on the idea before shaking my head in frustration and deciding to just ask. What? Can we get McDonald's? I'm just kidding. Blackout isn't actually a research company, is it? And I thought you were clever, but it looks like I was wrong. What do you think? It's not? It is. It always has been. When we tried searching up info on Blackout, we weren't able to find anything besides something traced into a chemical fire years ago. The Red Salted Harbor. So you know. His voice drips with disdain, and I can see his grip tighten on the steering wheel. You know what? I'll let you in on something. His eyes fixate on the road, his fangs bared out as he grits his teeth. As much as I hate you and your guts, there's nothing in the world I hate more than those low-life, two-faced backstabbers. Teamwork? More like collective sabotage. Ever get my paws on you, Voltsman, I'll gouge your eyes out and rip out your heart. I try my best to sit still and avoid drawing attention as the snow leopard continues his rant, muttering beneath his breath. Is he really this angry just because I mentioned the chemical fire? I guess we're getting chicken nuggets from McDonald's. Okay, Helix, if you could just take a left. You could just take a left on the next intersection and then keep driving for about 3 miles before turning into a parking lot. There should be a McDonald's there. Please and thank you. Is he really this angry just because I mentioned the chemical fire? And who the hell is Voltsman? Must have done something really terrible if Helix is acting like this. Blackout has gone through changes because of people like him, but we've endured. It's only a matter of time before we strike back at them. Them? There's another party involved, but who? What is this Voltsman? None of this is really making any sense. But I've said enough. You wouldn't understand. Helix focuses back on driving as the ambient sound of the truck is replaced by the patter of rain hitting the windshield. I want you to tell me more about Lawrence. I turn to look at Helix, surprised by his random question. Sure. What's his species? What does he look like? He's a tall gray wolf, slender built, I guess. And you and that fox said he's responsible for sending you to the bar that night. Yeah, that's right. He mumbled something to himself, looks over at me before returning his attention back to the road. Sounds suspicious, don't you think? I guess. Considering if what your fox friend said was true about Lawrence leading you places, in fact, the shooting wasn't orchestrated by you. He pauses, his expression hardening into a cold stare. Helix lets out a low, dry chuckle. I'd bet you this I'm not saying that. I am not comfortable saying that. So I'm going to say something else. I'd bet you this Lawrence cocksucker was trying to kill me, and you two just so happened to be in the crossfire. Probably to stop the deal that never happened from occurring. He continues to mutter more things, but the rain drowns out any utterance he makes. Fucking hell. He slams his fist against the dashboard, then grabs my shirt, making me jump. Once we have Magnus, I think I'm going to find this Lawrence guy and teach him a lesson. And you're going to help me. Help him? Oh no, I have a bad feeling about this. I guess Lawrence is going to die. We're back. The rain's still pouring like crazy too. Man, that drive felt so long, even longer than when I was stuck in storage earlier. All because of how uncomfortable the silence was with Helix sitting next to me. I look over and see the feline pulling a latch before I feel shaking coming from the back of the truck. Wait here. He hops out of the truck, disappearing from sight, only to reappear moments later, now with Slate by his side. Even from sitting inside, Slate's head just manages to look into the side windows of the truck. He waves at me, greeting me earnestly. How's the ride? Hope it was better than sitting in the back. It was fine. Still can't get used to how friendly Slate is. Feels like he's up to something. Good then. Slate looks at Helix, but returns his glance back to me when Helix ignores him. I'll be moving the containers now. Helix, look after the son, would you? This isn't a fucking daycare, and I know what to do. Then do it. The gator gives a sarcastic pat on Helix's back before walking off. Pain in the ass, all fucking soaked. He mutters more things I can't make out as he opens the door and motions me out. The snow leopard escorts me back inside, his paw firm on my wet shoulder. Feel a sudden tug and we stop in place. Where to put you? His grip tightens before releasing and pushing me towards a large steel door. Go in there and have a seat. I'll be right there. And you better not touch anything or I'll kill you! Okay. I approach the door hesitantly and turn to look back at Helix, who's watching me as I make my way inside. As I step in, the lights automatically turn on, revealing some kind of laboratory. Well, kinda. On closer inspection, it's like a lounge on one side and a workshop on the other. I spot a sofa near the door and decide to sit down, anxiously awaiting Helix's return. I draw in a deep breath, trying to steady myself. Javier's out there searching for Magnus. We're just buying time for now, but I really hope you have a plan, Javier. Still, there's still a chance, a real one, that Javier won't find him, and then I'm done for. I shake my head, forcing the thought away. I'll be fine! I have to be! The door suddenly swings open and Slate walks in, not spotting me at first until he turns around. Hey, there you are. Here. He tosses a large towel for me and motions to the hallway behind him. That damn Helix supposed to be looking after you, but walked off to do his own thing. I guess I'll be looking after you then, son. I nod slowly as I try to dry my fur. So hey, you ever been held captive like this before? The gator laughs and nudges my shoulder playfully. Don't answer that. He props open the door and slides the same metal container we transported from the convention center inside. Hey, say something. I'm not that scary, am I? Hopefully not as much as that Helix. Try to force out a small chuckle, but it comes out more as an animal struggling to breathe. You probably have a lot of questions, but luckily for you, I got a lot of time. Slate grabs a crowbar from a shelf and pops the top off the container with ease. Pass that toolbox for me, would you? Points to a large gray box placed on top of the table beside me. Sure. Here. Something doesn't feel right. What is he trying to do? Gain my trust? Say, aren't you part of Blackout? The gator is taken aback by my sudden question as he takes the toolbox from me and digs around through it, looking for something. You could say that, son. Are we just going to ignore the fact that Theodore is fucking handcuffed right now? Are we just gonna ignore that fact? Okay. I raise a brow, in which he chuckles upon seeing my reaction. I take it that didn't really answer your question. Sorry, I'm just really confused at the moment. Yeah, well, I bet you are. The gator takes out some clear glass rods and sets them aside on a metal workbench on the other side of the room. Just this whole place, and you, and Helix. What the heck is going on? Why are you so nice to me when everyone else feels like they're out to kill me? I like you, son. What? I'll be honest with you, son. I'm just doing my job. If the boss wants to treat you well, then you're part of the family to me. Especially when someone like you scores a negative on the polygraph. You mean the machine I was hooked up to earlier? What does a negative mean? I thought it was pretty obvious, but sure, I can tell you. Slate grabs more parts from inside the container before sticking them in a large cylindrical machine at the back. You know those old-fashioned polygraphs that the cops would sometimes use in movies, right? Yeah, I've seen them before in older movies. You ever stopped and thought about why people don't use those anymore? No, not really. Well, you know, they're unreliable at best and a straight-up lie at worst. That's why I invented the hypermetric polygraph. What, you made that? I'm just pulling your tail. I didn't invent that, well, not the base design. Those puppies were manufactured for war. For, you know, intelligence extraction. We happened to get a hold of one, and I made some necessary repairs to fix it and made some improvements myself to it. But it wasn't cheap, let me tell you that much. Right. I see. I guess this is your specialty? Chief mechanical engineer, but yes, you can say it's part of my specialty. That negative reading you got, meaning that not only are you telling the truth, but you've got nothing to hide. Really? Really, son. There's a pause in the conversation as Slate kicks aside the now empty container and tinkers on the machine in the back instead. Now, if I were you, I would make yourself comfortable until your pal Javier shows up again with Magnus. No point in being antsy. About that, what if Javier isn't able to find Magnus? Well, you shouldn't be asking that, but fair question. Based on past experiences, we'd probably kill you. Dice you up and throw you inside some cement. I'm gonna grab a blanket while I try to process the fact that they're gonna fucking murder us. We're gonna die. They are going to Promised Neverland us. We are going to die painfully and brutally. This is how we die, ladies and gentlemen. This is how we die. This is indeed how we die. And it's gonna suck. The warmth in my face quickly goes cold as I stare at the gator in dread. Is he being serious? But again, no one's ever scored a negative before on the polygraph, and they also didn't get special treatment from the boss. So if I'd guess, we'd probably let you go. I hope so. We'd probably dispose of your friend for deceiving us. Only fair, right? I laugh nervously, unsure how serious the gator is being. Hang on, I'm gonna get myself more comfortable. I am under a blanket right now. I look like a fucking... I don't know. I'm an old man now. I'm an old man. Even though I'm in my early 20s. I laugh nervously, unsure how serious the gator is being. You don't need to worry, you'll most likely be spared. But in the meantime, you mind lending me your help? Slate straightens his back as he motions to the same machine he's been building since he arrived. I get up, which prompts Slate to pass me a small flashlight and some sort of glass rod. You're a big one, aren't you? But I think you're still more slender than me to fit your arm through that opening. He points to a small vent by the side of the machine. The Dilf doing? Gonna need you to fit the glass rod from inside. I nod and slowly get on all fours as I try to feel my way around the insides of the machine. It's covered in long black wires and sharp edges inside, which causes me to flinch as I snake my arm in. You got it? Come on now, son. Takes me several attempts, but eventually there's an audible click as the rod locks into place. I think I got heard a click. Good, now step back. I retract my arm out carefully and quickly return to the couch. Slate reaches into the container again and pulls out something akin to a leaf. Throws it in the machine and shuts the lid, staring at control inputs for a moment before pressing some sort of combination. Hopefully this works. The machine suddenly whirs to life with the gator impatiently tapping his claws on the lid. Come on. Any day now. Moments go by, the machine growing louder and louder until it stops abruptly. That took longer than expected. I'll need to make a note of that. He opens the lid and pulls out a small glass dish from inside. Did it work? Can't tell just yet. The gator leans over the counter, exposing just how large his back muscles are as he reaches for some kind of microscope. He slides the dish underneath the lens and stares intently. So it's not this one either. Takes the glass and tosses it in the trash beside him, before shaking his head at me. Well, to answer your question, son, it didn't work. So what exactly are you trying to do? Slate strokes his chin slowly as my question lingers in his mind. You know what, I'll tell you since you're such a curious kitty. It's a paramagnetic isophase unit. You probably know it as a centrifuge. That's a centrifuge? It's so big. Similar, just one of the many kinds developed by the government. Much like a polygraph, it's also military grade. Hope you're noticing a pattern here, son. So, what were you trying to separate? Now that, I won't tell you. Use your imagination, I'm sure you can come up with something. The gator continues to laugh as he walks over and pats my shoulder. My ears flatten from embarrassment as the sound of my empty stomach suddenly echoes through the room. Now, if I didn't know any better, I'd say you're hungry. Look away embarrassed as I recall what happened earlier with Felix. Hey, don't worry. I need to get back to searching for another sample to use, but I'll go fetch you something in a bit. Don't do anything silly or that snow leopard might just do something to the fox. I shake my head slowly, sensing that this might be my only chance to learn more while Slate's still being friendly. Wait! Slate stops, pausing just as he's about to leave the room. Please, I still don't understand. About? Said Blackout's a research company, but if that's true, what's all this? Wave around the room, pointing out the circumstance I'm in. And why would Blackout send me texts, ask me to go to the power plant, especially when we ran into people that tried to kill us? Quickly softened my tone when I realized I might aggravate the Gator with my questioning. I just want to know what this all means. The Gator shakes his head solemnly as he gazes at me pitifully. You poor thing. Son, let me ask you something. Do you think science can still do good, even when it's in the wrong hands? Yes or no? What does that mean? It's exactly what it sounds. Ponder over the question for a moment before Slate motions me over and sits down on the couch. I don't actually care what your answer is, but the fact you're taking so long means something. For me, the answer is yes. Make no mistake, Blackout is a research company. It's just that ever since a couple years ago, there was a large restructuring to keep the research afloat. And if I'm assuming right, that's probably why you and your friends weren't able to find any details about us. It's all been scrubbed gone. Restructuring? To put it lightly, we were sabotaged and the business was going under. Then our current boss came and bought out Blackout, and well, the rest is history. So is he the reason why Blackout became the way it is now? You got it, son. Sometimes you gotta adapt to survive in a world like this. I nod respectfully, but something still doesn't add up. What about the texts? Slate shakes his head in annoyance. Yes. The ones that were sent to you by Helix's division by mistake. Still can't believe that chump is still making rookie mistakes like this. I know he mentioned earlier that they weren't supposed to be sent to me, but I know another person that got these texts sent, but they got beat up when they went to the power plant. Well, all I'll say is this. We got a recruitment program and a testing program. I can't say about your friend, but based on your account, Helix meant to send those texts for the cat. The Gator leans in closer, a glint of seriousness in his eyes. It's a necessary evil, but we need test subjects. Don't tell me. I can already tell what you're going to say by the look on your face. Relax, no one's being tortured. It's just, can't really apply for standard clinical trials now, can we? Working on something right now that'll hopefully reverse the rapid cause of muscle atrophy degeneration. You guys are trying to develop a cure for RMAD? RMAD, and along with some other things. He points to the machine and gets up. Well, son, hopefully that answers your question. If there's any more details about Blackout, and you're obligated to join us. Right. And is it okay if I ask about you instead? Me? Well, you're the chief mechanical engineer, which means you've been with Blackout for a while now, right? That's right, I've been here since the beginning. What was Blackout like then? You're asking too many questions that don't concern you, son. Be thankful Helix isn't the one looking after you right now. I doubt he'd have the patience to deal with the amount you're spouting out at the moment. Speaking of which, I need to get that schmuck. He turns around and opens the door, and for a brief moment, I swear I spotted Christopher's silhouette walking by. Oh wait, that guy does what Your short growl of Slate whips his head towards me. Son, don't test my patience. It's just that polar bear that just passed by. Pretty sure that was Christopher. Christopher? Slate's face wrinkles in confusion as he tilts his head toward me. What are you talking about? You better not be trying to pull a fast one on me, son. He's the guy we were following earlier. We thought he might lead us to Helix, so we followed him here, straight from the Grand Marine. And that's how you guys got here, huh? The Gator stretches his limbs as he thinks aloud. I should have asked earlier. Can't really go against the boss's orders now, but... The Gator opens the door and peeks his head in the hallway. Helix! Get in here right now! And bring your friend here, too! Doesn't even take a minute before Helix and Christopher enter, both of them staring at me keenly as he walk past Slate. According to Theodore, Christopher here almost caused us a whole lot of trouble. Christopher? Locke, what did you do this time? Nothing. Tiger also said he followed your friend, and that you came here straight from the Grand Marine. Is this true? Yes. Locke, what the fuck were you thinking? I didn't think I was being followed. Ugh, we've been over this before. You never come straight to me. Let me pick you up, you idiot. Wait, so you're not Christopher? Who the fuck is this Christopher? It's the name you told me to register as when I was hired at the Grand Marine, remember? Maybe. I don't fucking remember, that was ages ago. Well, now that explains that. Helix, get Locke out of here. What about the side hustle? Oh, shit. Oh my god. Oh my god. Mr. Developer, if you're here, I have a question. Was it planned to make you feel... Was this CG planned to make you feel both... To make you feel scared, intrigued, and I'm not going to say the third one, but I think you get the idea. Boing. Do you get the idea? I hope you do, because I'm not going to say it here. Slate picks up Helix by the collar and stares him dead in the eye. If you think earning a few extra dollars is worth jeopardizing the whole team, then I'll just snap your neck right now. I step back slowly, watching as a feline claws grasp desperately at his neck, gasping for air, until Slate releases him, dropping him to the ground. I can go, it's fine. Slate blocks the polar bear with his broad arm while gripping hard on Helix's collar. We cannot have outsiders compromising Blackout's objectives. You know that, Helix. I don't care if he's your friend. He better not be here by the time I'm back. The gator disappears, leaving Helix on the ground, gasping for air as Locke kneels beside him for support. Talk about a changing character. I'll get going too. The polar bear gets up, growls at me, and then walks out the door. My attention returns back to the snow leopard on the ground. Hey, are you okay? Helix slowly pushes himself up, muttering something under his breath. Fucking hell. Slams his fist onto the metal desk, the clang echoing throughout the room. Get out of my sight before I kill you. Grabs a screwdriver from the desk and hurls it blindly in my direction, narrowly missing me as he keeps his eyes fixed on the table. Get out! Shit. He's gone crazy! I rush out, not wanting to stick around to see what he might do next. Now that I'm in the hall, though, I realize I have no idea where to go. I could technically escape, but there's no way I'd get far. Plus, I still have Javier. Hey, what are you doing out of the room? The gator emerges from a room further down the hall, his voice booming. Helix told me to leave, or he's, throwing a temper tantrum already. Why am I not surprised? Yeah. Ugh, I swear to God, one of these days. Leave him. He's just gonna come back to get you anyway. Where are we going? To the kitchen, where else? Or was that not your stomach earlier? As if on cue, my stomach rumbles again. Oh my God, he's gonna cook for us? I guess, if you want to, if you're feeling comfortable, say what you want Slate to make you, to cook you. Just say what you want him to cook us. Not that. Oh my God, same. I fucking love carbonara. I fucking love it. As if on cue, my stomach rumbles again. God damn it. That was me. Yeah. Then, come on, don't be shy. He winks, then beckons me over as he disappears into one of the many rooms in the hallway. I follow, trying my best to keep up until I'm led into another room. Have a seat wherever you like. Kitchen? This looks more like an eating area. Carbonara is a pile of deliciousness. He gestures to the few couches scattered around the place, and pulls something out of the fridge and switches on the TV that's hung up on the wall. Here, hope you don't mind some leftovers. Tosses me a half-eaten sandwich wrapped in plastic. Thanks. Peel off the plastic and hesitate before taking a bite, but when I do, I realize it's actually not half bad. Look at that. The gator shakes his head at the screen. It's kind of new broadcast currently playing. So, we have a sandwich now. That Castleton's at it again, huh? When will that old mutt learn enough is enough? One of these days, someone's going to kick him out of office. Hopefully it's right around the corner. So you're caught up with the rumors too, then? I know bits and pieces since I got here. Got here? Where are you from, son? Out of town. On the other side of the country, actually.
Always
watching. That makes sense. Yeah, nothing like a local son. Well, you're gonna have one hell of a story when you get back. Doubt anyone will believe you, though. Wait, you're not worried I'll tell people what happened? Assuming we don't kill you or hold you for ransom? No, not really. We have ways of finding out, trust me. Oh, my heart skips a beat. Sounds like he's joking, but the glint in his eye doesn't exactly scream just kidding. Maybe it's just best to avoid mentioning my release. I don't need the reminder that I'm just one text message away from Slate ending my life. So, Slate, sir, Slate is fine. Right, Slate, about Christopher, I mean Locke. Guessing he doesn't work for Blackout, does he? Look at you. Even when being held captive, you're still so keen on asking questions. He walks over and leans in closer until our faces are nearly touching. I respect your moxie, son. You know what, I'll make you a deal. I'll tell you whatever you want about Blackout. But after your fox friend finds Magnus, I'm going to need you guys to give me something. Give you something? I don't know if we have anything Blackout would want. Not to Blackout, but to me specifically. And it's information I want, so don't give me that look, son. I'm not about to harvest your organs and sell them on the black market. But what if we don't have the info you want? Unlike Helix, I know ARC's reputation. And I also know for a fact that they've archived the missing bit I'm looking for. Right. Trading information, that might be useful, but I don't know if I'm in any position to make a decision like this. So what do you say? Got ourselves a deal? I don't know, maybe I should ask Javier first. And why would you need to bother with that? ARC's been known to negotiate terms like this in the past. Besides, I doubt your friend wants to be interrupted while he's on such a crucial task anyway. I guess not. This could be a trap, but what choice do I have? Information is power, and right now, I need all the power I can get. Sure. Okay, he wasn't fucking lying. This is a lore dump. So it's a deal then. He gives me a wink before grabbing my paw and giving me a firm shake. His scales rough against my fur. Glad to know you have some common sense. I could use a break from the lab work anyway. Pulls up a chair and sits on it backward, facing me attentively. Now, I guess I should get started on the first thing that Blackout is not. We're not a cult, we don't traffic people, we don't run a drug cartel. Like I said earlier, Blackout's always been a research company. Still is. Chemical synthesis, genome splicing, anti-aging therapy, those are just a few of the things we've dabbled in the past. You following me so far? I nod, and Slate's takes on a more serious demeanor. Like any normal science-based company, we got funding from doing research. When there's no research, the investors leave. There was an incident a few years ago where all of our latest technology got stolen. Stolen? You would be right, and it set us back so much we were on the verge of bankruptcy. That is until our boss bought us out. Boss? You don't mean the same Tiger from earlier. That's right, he's the sole reason why we're still operating to this day. That part makes sense, but what about now? What are you guys doing at the power plant? Power plant? You must be referring to Helix's division. He squints and shakes his head disapprovingly. You were there with ARC earlier this week, I reckon then? Yeah, I got texts telling me to go there. Of course you did. Now remind me again, was this before or after our men left? The texts were before. We also went there after they left. Long story short, we were using the abandoned power plant to power some of our experiments. Right, that makes a lot of sense. But why leave so suddenly? Were you guys being followed? Saw a lot of the equipment and things just left out in the open when I went back the second time. Second time? This must be when Helix forgot to extract our logs from the computer. You see, we were tipped off that someone might have been spying on us and worried it might have been the architects. Architects? You see, son, there's a lot more about the city than you, your friends, or even ARC would know. No one knows much about him, but whatever's out there, it's enough to make us take precautions. Some say they're just a myth, but when you're up against a ghost that leaves no trace, you start paying attention to whispers. He pauses, his eyes narrowing slightly. Could just be stories, or maybe they're the real deal. Either way, we haven't been taking chances when we heard they might be sniffing around. Well, who are they? What do they do? He chuckles darkly. Hang on, I'm gonna get more comfortable because I feel like this is gonna go on for a while. Let me just... He chuckles darkly. To be honest, I'd tell you if I knew, but no one knows anything about them. Although there was one thing that happened with Castleton long ago. There weren't any good explanations for it, so some people suspected it was the workings of the architects. What happened? His face becomes more serious. He died. Died? Or well, he should have with how his initial autopsy report was presented. But obviously that's not the case if the reporters keep talking about him now, is it? What do you mean he died? My memory's a bit fuzzy, but I remember reading that he got into a car accident and the top half of the car was sliced off cleanly. What the fuck? What the fuck? Damn! His car ran straight into an 18-wheeler. Not even a day later, it was confirmed that he had miraculously fully recovered. Are you saying the architects covered this up or something? Not me, that's just what people said back then. Well, so they've been around for a while. That's true, they come and go, and it's been a while since they last did anything. Lately, whispers about them have been picking up again. Whispers about what? Depends on who you ask. He leans back slightly, seeming to weigh how much to reveal. I've heard some people say they were involved in the terrorist attack 4 decades ago. No proof, of course, but the timing fits just too well. Others think they're an offshoot of the Freemasons, operating in the shadows even longer than we thought. That's crazy. Not really. People make up stories when your group is secretive. I've always been hearing rumors crop up about Blackout. And what are people saying? The gator scoffs and sneers at me. Why don't you tell me? Alright, we thought you had something to do with the production of Skeleton. Far from it. We're trying to do good, even if we have some ruthless ways of achieving that. So let me see if I have this straight. Blackout's a research company that uses dirty tactics to get what they want, but you guys are ultimately good? Guess you hit the nail on the head. Although the dirty tactics part is usually planned out by Helix. After all, he was brought in by the boss when the company was restructured. I stare at the gator's muscles and tattoos skeptically. Look all you want, but that's the truth. I mainly do the blueprints and designs around here. And what does Helix do? He's a chief intel, so everything else. Wait, Helix does research too? I thought he was more operational. Even the research, son. A thought suddenly pops in mind as I try to process what Slate just told me. Wait, back to the architects. Why would you guys suspect they'd be the ones spying on you if there's not a lot known about them? I'd have to ask Helix, but he said something about how the cameras were all jamming, and control room suddenly detected a large burst of signals. That might have been Javier and I. The gator stares at me bewildered. Well, call me a fool then. That would explain it then. That paranoid cat always worried about the architects targeting us, when it was just you and your friends snooping around. But if that's true, you've caused us some setbacks with your meddling. He shrugs and relaxes his body, opposite of what I expect he'd do. Though that was ultimately Helix's call to make. And I'll gladly keep this to myself as long as I get the info I need from ARC. Yeah, of course. Good. Now if there's no further questions, I'm going to... Pulls out his phone and holds up a finger, signaling me to wait. Slate speaking. Of course. He hangs up and stares at me expressionless. Just letting you know. Got a call about Magnus. Panic rises and my stomach lurches with anxiety. Right, how's that coming along? Suddenly smiles and nods slowly. Good, sounds like they're on their way to meeting him now. I let out a large sigh of relief. Javier, I don't know how you did it, but thank God! In the meantime, I'd like to check up on that damn cat. It's been awfully quiet, and I've expected him to come in here by now. Don't think he's still mad at me, do you? He most certainly still is. Now sit tight, because I'm locking you in here. Bathroom's in the back if you need it. Wait! And just like that, the large gator disappears out the door in a rush, leaving me alone with my thoughts and the pounding of my heart. I take a deep breath, fighting the rising panic. Come on, Javier, please find Magnus. I need you to pull this off! I don't want to die! I tug at my collar and fidget with the bit flipper in my paw, trying to keep still while one of the lions wraps up his phone call across the lobby. The other one is closer, standing nearby, keeping a watchful eye on me. Ugh, what a mess I've gotten myself into. Fox. The lion calls out to me from behind, but I continue staring ahead at one when making the phone call. Yes. How do you know Magnus is here? I hesitate, carefully forming my words so as to not expose my bluff. I know. You say you know, but you weren't able to contact him earlier in the car. I don't have his contact information, but he told me he was staying here the other day. The other slightly taller lion from across the room hangs up the call and approaches over, waving me down. Now I've called the necessary people. We can continue now. Lead the way to Magnus. I roll my eyes at the large buffoon and stroll over to the elevators. I don't have to wait long before one arrives, and as I step inside, I notice the line's blocking anyone else from entering, leaving just the 3 of us in the elevator. What floor? 65. My paws start to clam up with the thought of Magnus not being there, but this is the best shot I have. He specifically brought me here that night, and most certainly told me he had unfinished business to discuss. In the case he's not there, I'll need to stall, and most likely need to ask someone if they know where Magnus is. Step out, we're here. The short, ugly-looking lion tries to grab my arm, but I swat his paw away, causing the other lion to chuckle. Don't touch me! I know. Like I said on our way here, I would greatly appreciate if you two let me act autonomously. The 2 lions exchange looks of annoyance before gesturing me down the hallway. Whatever you say, just get us to Magnus. Remember that you got until the end of the day. Boss's orders. Yes, I know. You two have told me this countless times already. I suggest you stop being so controlling and let me focus on finding Magnus. Or would you rather have my failure be attributed to the both of you? Want to continue On my rant at these idiots, I spot a hefty-looking bear step out from one of the rooms in the hall. What's going on out here? Is this guy supposed to help us find Magnus?
Shut your mouths and let me do the talking.
I approach the fine-suited bear, carefully making sure my words reach only him.
Two well-dressed gentlemen behind me are my bodyguards. Please be careful with your words.
The bear looks at us unexpectedly before regaining composure.
And anyway, do you know where I can find the conference suite?
He examines my attire and sizes me up, then stares at the lines behind me. Conference suite, it's just down the hall, but there's no planned meetings today. But I don't recognize you. What's your name?
Javier.
I'm going to ask to see some ID because I don't remember seeing a Javier written on the list.
That's because I was wearing my Magnus the other night to legally witness the formal contract he had been a part of. Here.
I pull out my ID and show it to the bear before putting it back.
There's no point in showing you this. When I don't, you'll find me on the list.
I'm afraid I can't let you in then, not unless Magnus brings you along as well. Damn it! I was so close! Small tap on my shoulder and I turn to see one of the lions leaning over to me. I thought you said you were able to get Magnus.
Yes, I will. I'm working on it. Can't you see?
How can we find him if we need him to go in? Is there a problem, gentlemen?
No, not at all.
Guess it's time to switch to plan B. Hopefully these idiots know how to play along.
In fact, we were just...
Our fox buddy here needs to find Magnus and you're getting in the way. Facepalm and shake my head in frustration.
Please pay no attention to this man. It's his first week on the job.
Sir, I'm going to have to ask you three to leave if you're not accompanied by someone on the list. You can't just let people on... And as this entire floor and above are fully...
Yes, I am well aware.
Hey, it's you. That shrill voice. Can it be there's no way he'd be here? Of course he'd be here. Of course. Little dipshit would be here right now. Of course the dipshit's here. Fuck. Of course he's here. Of course. I turn around and spot the unmistakable blue jacket and large antlers rushing down the hall straight at me. Hey! So it is you! Oh shit, the ad's playing. We're gonna stop it for the ad. I wanna break from the ads. I completely forgot. I fucking hate him. I hate him! I genuinely hate him. Do your no ads dance. Yeah! I fucking hate him. I genuinely hate him. Hey, so it is you. You're the friend of Mr. Gardner Theodore, the red fox with the big round glasses. Wait, don't tell me. I think I remember your name. It was Rover, right?
Javier.
Ow, so close. Now, here's a face I thought I'd never want to see again. Wait, what's he doing here?
Anyways.
Hey, cool, I see you also have those two bodyguards with you. Something takes out his camera and takes a photo of us.
Excuse me?
I wanted to remember this moment. Plus your bodyguards look so cool behind you. Maybe we'll call the photograph Two Imposing Lions. I didn't know you were important to have these bodyguards.
Yes.
My face lights up as I suddenly formulate a plan, hopefully this works.
Never mind, my god, bodyguards, what are you doing here?
Oh, me? I got bored. It's always the same people talking about the same stuff in there, so I've just been wandering around the floor. That's when I heard talking out here, so I went to check it out. Interesting. So he's also here, probably with his father.
I see. But isn't the conference suite empty today? What's your dad doing here? Unless...
My dad's just having his usual private meetings with his friends and staff in his room at the moment. His room?
What do you mean by that?
Oh, you know, the company, earnings, all the normal stuff that old people normally talk about. I wonder if I can leverage this to my advantage somehow.
I was wondering if you could convince the security here to let us in.
I'm right here, you know. Oh, is he giving you a hard time? The bear stammers, looking visibly embarrassed. Well, no. I was just doing my job. This gentleman here was looking to enter, but his name isn't on the list. Aw, really? You're not on the list?
No, I'm not.
Can we make an exception for Mr. Javier? This one time? Well, if you know him, I suppose it's okay. Hooray! You guys can follow me. I'll take you to the conference suite. I hear the lions snicker behind me as we follow along. Oh, finally! Okay, actually, I'm starting to like David. Well, here we are. There's nobody here but us. Strange. Your bodyguards won't be able to stay inside. It's for security reasons. But they're more than welcome to hang outside in the lounge. Unfortunately, it's one of Dad's rules.
Hey, wait, that was a part of the deal.
The other lion holds him back. Now, let's not be hasty. We managed to get inside, and it's not like the fox has anywhere to go. They notice me listening and begin muttering before dismissing me nonchalantly. We'll be here. Don't try to do anything funny. The bear gives a suspicious look as he escorts the two idiots out, but I try my best to ignore it. Wow, your bodyguards sure look tough and spooky. Not as much as that wolf that was with you before, though.
What?
You know, the big wolf guy with the strong muscles. I forgot their name, but he was with you and Mr. Theodore when we were at the storage room. He tries to mime someone tackling down a door, making me facepalm and shake my head.
Ah, you mean Rue. Yes, those two idiots are nothing like him.
He chuckles, but then scratches his head and frowns. Is there any particular reason why you needed to be here, Mr. Javier? Well, maybe Mr. Theodore would have been with you. Or that you had someone waiting here for you.
No, I should have been more clear earlier. I'm actually looking for someone that might be here.
Really? Why didn't you mention that earlier? I love a good scavenger hunt.
It was more convenient for me to admit that.
I really understand what you mean, but if it's someone here, I might be able to help. So who is it?
I'm not sure if they're still here or not, but if you know where I can find Magnus? I came to this exact room a few nights ago with him for this business meeting. I don't know at the time that this floor belonged to you, but that would make more sense now. I don't see your father at the meeting.
Stop talking and stare at David, who seems to be lost in thought, not paying any attention to me anymore. I'm sorry, I don't think I know any Magnus. What do they look like?
They're a large Arctic fox about the size of...
Oh! David's face lights up and starts waving his arms in the air. You mean Big Gus? What the fuck? Big Gus? That is his name? Big Gus.
Big Gus?
Yeah, that's what I've been calling him since I was little.
Excuse me?
Talk about a small world. How do you know Big Gus?
No, it's a long story, one I prefer not to delve into at the moment.
We don't need to tell David about the fact that right after Magnus signed the contract, he proceeded to fuck Javier. Okay, but if you're looking for him, I think he's still in the other room at the moment. Eyes widen, and a mountain of pressure seems to disappear off my back.
He's here?
Yeah, he's one of the people that my dad wanted to talk to. They're probably still discussing business, though, but I can check for you.
Yes, go. This is rather urgent.
Okay, wait here. The reindeer runs out of the room before I even get a chance to clarify myself. Might as well take this time to see if I can find anything useful. I pull out my bit flipper and slowly pan it around the room. I knew it. There's at least 8 hidden cameras in here. Closest one being under the desk right beside me.
Let's just disable all these one cameras first. There.
Trace my digits along the other side of the table until I feel a small bump, prompting me to slow down to pick the camera off. Door suddenly swings open behind me, causing me to stuff the hidden camera in my pockets in a panic. Mr. Javier, I have some good news.
Magnus is here?
Yeah! I just popped my head in and saw he's still there, but they're still talking about business. Let out a relieved sigh. We can wait outside in the lounge. That way we'll see Magnus come out. Ugh, that means I'll have to go back and see those idiots, but it's not like I have a choice.
Fine, let's wait outside.
We walk over to the sofas where David flops down and pulls out his phone. I decide to sit across from him, but as I do, I notice the two lions watching me, with one of them starting to approach. What's the situation now? Are we able to get Magnus?
Yes, we're just waiting for him to finish his meeting. Isn't that right, David?
Yep, he's with my dad right now, just a few rooms down. The lion steps closer to me and bends down to whisper something. I don't know what kind of stunt you pulled to getting in here, but count yourself lucky. He shoots me a glare before walking back to the other line. I roll my eyes at the over-necessary theatrics before turning my attention to David. This might be the perfect opportunity to get some more clarification on things. Let's hope he's willing to share.
David, what's your relationship with Magnus?
Big Gus? He's like an uncle to me! I've known him since I was a kid. Him and my dad have been friends for a while. I'm not sure how my dad met him, though. I never asked, but it seems like they're always meeting up together at least once a month. Sometimes me and my dad even take the private jet to visit Magnus's mansion in the mountains. David flashes a smile before getting engrossed in his phone again. Well, that was easier than expected. If only everyone I questioned was like David. You're fucking right? That would make your life so much easier, Javier. Unfortunately, you also commit meow meow crimes, so, fuck you. Although I do find his openness a bit off-putting, to say the least. Maybe I should test my theory and see if he's as big of an airhead as he looks.
You know, David, if I'm not taking too much of your time, you're free to leave. You don't need to accompany me.
I know, but there's nothing to do. My parents always taught me to be nice around guests and important clients. He motions to the lion standing off to the side, staring at us. And look, you have bodyguards! So you're an important client. Try my best to hide the visual cringe at his logic.
And what if I don't have these bodyguards?
I don't know, I'd still help you because you're a friend of Mr. Theodore. I guess we're also friends now! He chuckles playfully before tapping on his phone again. There's some kind of act, it's extremely convincing. Hey, I should ask some questions about you two. What kind of company do you run, Mr. Javier?
Company?
Better make up something on the spot.
I run a boutique intelligence firm specializing in high-stakes global problem-solving. We offer bespoke solutions to some of the most complex security and investigate needs in the world. Our clients range from influential private individuals to multinational corporations seeking discreet and effective resolutions to delicate matters. You could say we deal in information and solutions that most wouldn't even know how to ask for.
Wow! That sounds really important and impressive. I'm pretty sure he didn't understand half of those words. No wonder you're meeting up with Big Gus. You're both business foxes! I am having way too much fun voicing David. I elect to conserve my energy and ignore the reindeer. I need to focus on what to say when Magnus shows up. There's too much on the line. The best approach is to be direct and honest. I'll tell him his original contact was late and that there's clearly been some kind of setup. I'll also suggest he void the contract he made when I was with him the other night and redo it with Helix, whatever intentions they might have. I'm not entirely sure, but it seems important to black out. I have a strong hunch that Lawrence is behind all of this somehow. There's a high chance that Lawrence set us up at the speakeasy. And if that's the case, the fact that it coincided with Helix's and Magnus's meeting can't be a coincidence. It's all just circumstantial for now, but I'll find out soon enough. Oh, Mr. Javier! David shakes my arm, causing me to instinctively flinch and recoil it back. Oops, sorry. I didn't mean to startle you, but you were spacing out. I was trying to get your attention.
Well, you have it. What is it?
Big Gus is out. David jump scare. Practically jump out of my seat as soon as I see Magnus emerge into this room. Watch as David rushes over to greet him. Big Gus! You're finally out of your meeting. There's someone here that's looking for you. Just... This is giving the same energy. These two are sharing a singular brain. These two are sharing two brain cells, and both of them are fighting for third place. They are giving the same fucking energy. David waves me over as I'm still trying to make my way over, with Magnus's eyes lighting up in surprise. Javier? This is most surprising. Did you not say you were not interested in me? His voice is deep and sultry as he adjusts his robe, but I can't help finding it irritating. He steps closer to me and grabs my paw, delivering another greeting kiss again, which I try not to let it bother me.
Things are complicated. I came here to talk to you in a professional setting.
Yes, that is acceptable, but what is the reason for the security lines behind you? Turn around and roll my eyes when I spot the same two idiots now just several feet behind me.
Don't pay those buffoons any mind. I need to talk to you about the signing you did the other night.
Yes, the sales deal. What about it?
There was some kind of setup that prevented the original party from meeting up with you that night. They've requested I find you again so they can discuss the deal again.
That is most interesting to hear. But I'm afraid that, doing a re-sign may not go so well. The deal is done. It would be difficult to accomplish this task.
Huh?
I reach into my pocket and pull out my phone. I want to dismiss the call, but realize the number is coming from the hospital.
Sorry, please give me a moment to handle this.
The phone connects and a frantic nurse can be heard on the other end talking in the background.
Hello?
Is this Javier? We're contacting you because your details were listed.
Yes, but I'm in the middle of something. Can you please?
Sorry, this is rather urgent. It's about our patient, Rue. He's gone. My heart stops.
Gone? What do you mean, gone? You don't mean to say
He's disappeared from his room. The authorities have already been contacted to try and track him down, but he's nowhere to be found.
What?
We'll keep you updated, but in the meantime, please keep a lookout for him. He may have wandered off because of his amnesia.
Okay.
The nurse keeps talking, but I hang up, feeling I've heard enough. Magnus cocks his brow in concern. Are you okay? Yeah, that sounded serious. I let a small chuckle and put my phone away, trying to refocus, but it proves harder than I expected.
Just some unexpected difficulties at the moment. Like I was saying,
Grab Magnus's arm and pull him down slightly, making sure the lions can't hear what I'm about to say.
We need to discuss this in private. This is serious.
Understood. The large fox stands back up and straightens his robe and walks to the conference suite.
We need to talk about some things in private.
Okay, have fun! The lions stare me down as I follow Magnus. Hopefully I can convince him to help me. Oh, shit! Fuck! Fuck! God damn! I know! That is so frustrating, but also makes a lot of sense. Yeah, Rue's going to Disneyland, and we'll see him there, I guess. So, stay safe, have a good night, and I will see you all tomorrow.